Hello, hello, everybody. So, earlier today I kind of got bored and I built a bamboo farm. These are strays. They can't be harvested for some reason. I kind of need to cut those down. Yeah, not even sure if anybody's on yet watching. Can't see it at the moment. Trespassing. So basically, I am prepared for going to defeat the Ender Dragon. Put these away. I don't know if I'm ready or not, but we're gonna give it a good old one too and see how it goes. So I know I need to blow up the crystals and put blocks between me and the crystals if I have to climb. Shoot them if I can. Uh, Stay for it. I really hope I wouldn't be spawned on the little platform, but it is what it is, so wow, it's like really not dark, but I think that's the full bright doing its thing. I seriously forget to... Of course I did. Forgot to bring fucking arrows. Oh well. That was close. Yay! He is gone. How do I? Let's see, how do I pick up the dragon egg?
Hi everyone, here is how to collect the dragon egg. So once you have killed the dragon, there will be an egg up on here, and there's a real easy way to do it. There are torches around if you don't have any with you, but you'll need a torch. When you hit it, it will just disappear. And it will appear somewhere around. It's landed on here, but you want to have it on some blocks that you can break. So here we can break this, and what you do is you just dig. So there's a 1 block above it, and you put a torch underneath. You then break that, and it will fall onto the torch, break, and then you can pick it up in your inventory. And it's
Oh, okay. So I need. Shit. Well. There. Yeah. Did not mean to do that. Hopefully the egg is still up there. Because I completely forgot to. Probably could have grabbed some candles while I was up there. See if that'll. Yay. Okay. Yay. That was way easier than I thought it would be. Don't know what I need dragon's breath for, but put it in there. And of course, I didn't even take what I needed for. Oh, I beat it. That's all that matters. Didn't even need the water bucket. Okay, so first things first, I do know that I'm gonna take some damn I don't think there's any covered mountains near me. I'd probably have to. Yeah, I'm pretty near a snow biome. So I'll take my roller coaster and some snowballs. Because my other base is right next to a shitload of snow. Mm, It completely takes control of my mouse. No matter what. Damn. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Of once I get there, I'm actually gonna have to look for the gonna have to look for the portal to exit the end, because there's no maps of it yet, at least on seed map. So we'll go grab some snowballs real quick, and then we'll go to the end and we'll get an elytra. But I want to grab some snowballs so that, excuse me, I have a way to better predict where the ender pearl's gonna land if I have to throw a really far distance. Which I don't mind. I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna be like that whenever I do my hardcore world anyway. But everything I'm doing right now kind of leads to doing the hardcore world. Might actually use the seed from either my creative world or this world whenever I do hardcore, just so that I'm kind of familiar with where everything is. Which I can't wait to do hardcore, but first I gotta learn how to not fucking die. Hi, asshole. Okay, let's go get some snowballs. This easy. No, shit, no, 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 no. That's more than enough snowballs. Okay, so now we'll go back to the stronghold. Then we'll go to the end and go find an elytra. And of course I'll take a couple of bundles with me because I do plan on looting. Kind of wish I could turn off the sound of the tracks without turning off every other sound related to that setting. point, I'm definitely gonna tunnel down to there. Check out that survival shelter that I built. Which I can do pretty easily. All I gotta do is stand up here, throw an ender pearl down, and then whenever I need to come back, I can just build up to it. And then when I build up, I'll already have a staircase to put in a rail track, if I really want to. Time to go wee! That. That in there. There. Bundles. Wish I knew what all I would be a good idea to take to the end.
After beating the Ender Dragon, most people get too bored to continue playing the game. So here's 3 things you could do after beating the Ender Dragon to keep you entertained in the end game of Minecraft. First up, explore the world for all the armor trims and make a Hall of Armor sets, showcasing each trim. Number 2, learn the Minecraft banner system to add different territories to your land. And if you're playing multiplayer, use these banners to start turf wars over your friend's land. And 3, locate the trial chambers to test your skills. And if your friends decide to hunt you down after those land wars you started, the difficulty will skyrocket along with each player that follows you. Now you can keep playing Minecraft. After beating the Ender Dragon, most people get too bored to
Oh, yeah, screw it. I'll just go and I need to make this pathway a little more friendly. Well, good thing I did that. That. Oh yeah, I definitely want the Silk Touch. Damn, I can't believe I almost forgot that. I'm gonna want that for the Ender boxes. Fire everything. Okay. And of course, we gotta get some of this. A requirement. And I already see an intercity over there and over there.
How to escape the end. I recently showed off a way to kill the Wither easily in Bedrock Edition, but it required destroying an end gateway, and a ton of people thought that meant you were trapped in the end. But there's actually a lot of ways to get back to the overworld. First, there are almost infinite end gateways, so if you break this end gateway, you can just run around for a while until you find another one and go through that one. But if you don't want to wander around or you can't find one, you can always take your seed and go on Chunk Base, which will give you the coordinates to an end gateway, letting you go directly to it. Second, if you turn your render distance up, you can actually see the main end island. This is because the outer end islands are only 1,000 blocks away from the main island, so you can get back to the main island by simply bridging there. Third, you can find an end city and grab an elytra, and if you have any fireworks, you can fly from the outer end islands to the main end island. And if none of these things work, you can find an end city and throw all your stuff in one of the ender chests that spawn in them, and then throw yourself off a cliff. You'll respawn in the overworld and just lose your XP. Now you know how to escape the end. I recently showed off a way to kill the Wither easily in Bedrock Edition, but it required destroying an end gateway, and a ton of people thought that meant you were trapped in the end. But there's actually a lot of ways to get back to the overworld.
Hit everyone in with iPhone 17 Pro.
If you dream of flight, this item is found in the land of eternal night, and interestingly, it's the only item with durability which cannot die in Minecraft, just like a king, but like a king, it can be cancelled, and interestingly, it has its own death message, and even more intriguing than that, there are so many ways that you can use this to your advantage that many players just don't. There are many ways you can customize this item, and I want to teach you about all of those, because when it comes to transportation, this item is an absolute star, and speaking of star, hello, I'm AbbyX Toycat, and this is your ultimate guide to the Elytra. And so, if you want to get an Elytra, you have to do your standard, making a wooden pickaxe to a stone pickaxe, to make yourself a bucket, to make yourself a portal, so you can get yourself some Eye of Enders, find yourself the stronghold, and go to the end, where you've got to defeat the Ender Dragon, go through an end portal, and boom, wow, is that an end city you find? Now, this is the structure which is responsible for the Elytra, and many people think that, oh god, you've got to fight shulkers, which are a nightmare in and of themselves. However, the truth is, you can basically ignore 90% of this and 50% of these structures, because the only part that you want is this right here, the end city ship. All you want to do is get yourself directly below that. In my case, I think that's going to require an ender pearl. Oh, please, please save me from this ender pearl. Yes! I'm going to need myself an ender pearl to get underneath this, and what I would recommend, honestly, is the Elytra will save you from so many end shenanigans that just go straight to it and stack yourself up first. Now, there are some people who would advocate going side by side with the structure and climbing on the top. I certainly say that's like the easiest way if you don't know what you're up to, but if you're watching this guide anyway, I would recommend coming in through the floor of the end city, which you can do just like this. There's a couple of blocks to get through, and if you come in via the floor, there's a secret thing available to you, which is you don't have to deal with any of the shulkers besides the one guarding the Elytra itself. And so right over, oh, he's actually gone. He must have teleported trying to get me. And so right here, I can get in and get the Elytra without ever having to fight a mob that isn't the Void, which is wonderful. Also, you can get access to all the other stuff here, but this isn't the ultimate guide to cool things you can find in end cities. It's the ultimate guide to the Elytra, which by itself was already a formidable force when they added it back in 1.9, but look at this, we can glide across our world, but crucially in 1.11 they added the firework ability, and this is why it's the fastest way around any Minecraft world in any dimension, because you don't need roads, you don't need tracks, you don't even need a giant slab of blue ice. You can fly around just like this, which is nice. But how do you use this to the best of your advantage? Because there are lots of things that seem optimal, such as flying a firework towards the direction you want to go, that actually are not that in the slightest. So let's get into it by going back to the overworld. Oh look, we're back in the Ultimate Guide world, and I'm here to start by saying that Minecraft Elytras have a lot of interesting things you might not have known, and the first is about durability, because durability is used based on gliding, and every 4 seconds it will use a piece of durability. This means that it's actually very different to other tools, because you measure its durability not in times used, but in time used. That is to say, a regular Elytra will last for 7 minutes and 12 seconds. If you have Unbreaking, this goes up on average to 14 minutes. Unbreaking 2 takes this on average up to 21 minutes, and Unbreaking 3 means you can fly for almost half an hour non-stop before your Elytra will break. This is an average because Unbreaking is a % chance of using durability, and so in theory this could go as low as 7 minutes or as high as 7,000, but ultimately it means that if you have Unbreaking with no mending whatsoever, you can fly for a really long time, but once you use up all of that durability on any level of Elytra, something interesting happens. So with my stone pickaxe from earlier, that I used to help me with my nether and my portal, you can see something interesting happens here, which is that once I use up the entirety of the pickaxe, it breaks and it goes away forever, but that's not true for the Elytra, because when the Elytra breaks, you get a broken Elytra item. This is absolutely fascinating because it means that there is a bit of an interesting game that you can play here, because usually when it comes to combining tools, say 2 pickaxes together, you get the 2 items plus a 5% bonus durability, which usually doesn't mean very much, but if we take the example of, say, Elytras, you combine 2 of those together, and all of a sudden you've got something worthwhile. You can also take your regular Elytra, put on Mending and then use Experience, or you can take some Phantom Membranes, like we've got right here, and you can use these to actually repair your Elytra from 0 durability upwards. You can also combine 2 broken Elytras, and I think that's wonderful by itself. But speaking of wonderful, let's talk about things you can do with them. Someone has just joined. That's an old friend from like a decade ago. But getting back to the video, gliding straight forward can reach speeds of 30 blocks per second. Let me show you what that looks like. Wowee! This is faster than running by about 5 times. It's faster than a horse, and it's faster than most other forms of transport. But if you fly downwards, steeply downwards, you can reach speeds of up to 78 blocks per second. Look at this speed right here. So fireworks are also useful because they can boost you up to that same speed while gliding. In fact, the firework is going to be based on the duration of the effect. So if you have a flight duration 1 firework, this is what 99% of Minecraft players will use. You get a 1-second boost, flight duration 2 gives you a 2-second boost, and flight duration 3 gives you a 3-second boost. You might be saying, wait, Twincat, did you just say most players use the worst firework? Well, here's the reason why. If I use a firework duration 3, you can see that it's still boosting me around, but I don't necessarily want that. I might want to land right over here, and so the extra 2 seconds are not just a waste because it costs more gunpowder, but actively harmful to my cause too. Pro tip, by the way, don't use a firework star with the don't use a firework with the firework star because each use will cause damage while flying. Each firework star added increases that amount of damage too, and so let me show you. Here is a firework. Let's just spit one out. It's a firework with a bunch of balls attached. And if I now shoot myself in this one, look at that. I just damaged myself down to 9 hearts. Did he just follow me all the way over here and go, you know, I'm done with that, and then leave? I think he did. What a fun addition to the video today. Anyway, so as you can see, that is the reason you shouldn't use firework rockets. They can be absolutely disastrous and basically kill you when flying. To be fair, you can also die while flying, and fun fact, you'll get this little death message. But another fun fact you might not have realized is if you play Bedrock or console, you're actually able to do something that you cannot do while playing on the PC, which is cancel your Elytra in midair. I don't know why that counted as a fall from a high place, but fun fact, you can actually, oh no, I'm gonna do a 9 damage again. You can actually cancel your fall while in midair, and then you can land yourself in places like this without ever having to, you know, kinetic damage yourself. That's a rough time, or also preventing any of the other things. So that's a delightful thing you might not have realized. You can actually prevent yourself from taking a lot of damage in midair, and it's just one of those useful techniques you're going to need to learn. Speaking of useful techniques, did you know you can use Riptide while gliding with the Elytra? Here it is. Here's a Riptide Elytra, and here is some rain that magically just started falling. The max speed while doing this is 125 blocks per second, which doesn't sound believable until you actually do it for a bit and see what this looks like. It is a matter of time until you hit a piece of terrain that you're not expecting if you do this. It's very tricky because if you go too high, the rain turns to snow, but while there is rain, like there is down here, you can see the speed that this can be boosted up to, and it is wild. It is so much faster than an Elytra can go. If I use all of these firework rockets in a row, you can see that, looking at my Z coordinate, that we're going at about this speed right here. However, if we come closer to the ground, oh, we picked the wrong terrain for this one. If we come closer to the ground where it's raining, and then we launch ourselves over and over and over again, trying to stay at this sweet spot in height, and just maximizing this, look how fast that number is coming down now. Oh no, I've hit the unloaded chunks and still have this much speed left over. That is why the Riptide Trident is so fun and so dangerous. Use it in survival at your peril, but if you need to travel tens of thousands of blocks, there is no other tool that will get you where you need to be without experience.
Alright. Alright. Pretty good. Yeah, stand with it. Yeah, wasn't one. Doesn't fix that was good reason, never did. Yeah, not fucking fun. Got the did you? You already eat it? Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, I guess you are a little late. Good. Waiting for like a burgers. Yeah, they get a little salt in the thing, don't they? Oh.
So I don't need silver touch at the moment. Right there. Where do I want to put this dragon head? Yeah, I can put it anywhere, so right here. Yep, that looks good. These torches away because I don't need them. I can make shulker boxes. Yeah. Two. We will put this ender chest. And don't get that there. I got a brewing stand, so we'll just put that there for now. Same with the hand rods. Put the diamonds where they belong. And put the smithing template there. Okay. Now there. There. We're gonna put that in some meter right now. Okay. So set me right. Ain't this moving? Okay, thank you. Okay, now let's see if I can good stop right here. And that. Holy, way more than I anticipated. Grenade got in there, but hi, KL Stream. Thanks for joining. Really need to figure out a way to like turn that off. Intentionally turn it off. Crate can stay broken until I need it again. Because that's a shitload of bamboo. I'd end up having to burn. It's because of the over excess. Yeah. Okay. So. I think all that this is for is to cover and uncover the observer. I don't think it really does anything else. The observer just sees a change. That's what sets it off. let it run a cycle. And then, I mean, I suppose I can. Just in case it works, I'll grab 2 and grab experiment with something. Let's see if it can. I kind of need to drop that because this thing's useless anyway. See if that'll work any better. Might need to make that clock add a couple more repeaters to make it last longer. Kinda think this'll work better. Because it doesn't stay hovering over the face of the observer, so instead it pushes over it to block its view. If that works, like, repetitively, I think I'll leave it at that. Some sort of clock right here that does like 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off type deal. But we'll figure that out. It's just a redstone block. I don't know why this one works fine and that one don't. I think it said it's 5 of them lit up at once. It's got 4 lit up at once. Oh. What else do I have on my list of stuff I need to accomplish? Hmm. off. And yeah, I'll figure it out. For now, I'm thinking that I had a pretty good stream for today. I managed to get the Ender Dragon defeated. Got my Elytra finally. And next, tomorrow, we will see what else we can do. But I'm I'll figure out something to build, and then we will go from there. So until then, have a good evening.